watching this special broadcast of the Buck Stops here live tonight from the Gauriganj area of Amethi, a seat that the entire national media and in fact the entire country has had its eyes on all day. But for now, belying what a dramatic and volatile day it has been politically, we're outside this very serene old ashram. This ashram is of course the Babuganj Sagra ashram. It's over 100 years old, we're being told here, and this of course is also a very well-known Durga Mandir of the Amethi constituency. But today it's not prayers but politics that's dominating the headlines out of Amethi in what seems to be a very interesting twist to these elections. Narendra Modi has brought his battle against the Gandhis straight to their doorstep. Today, of course, was the day of his rally here. On the last day before campaigning closed, he made a spirited, in a sense, rally for the BJP candidate Smriti Irani. But what's also interesting is that he took a swipe at Priyanka Gandhi, calling her arrogant for not knowing or for saying that she didn't know who Smriti Irani is. Priyanka Gandhi has also hit back, accusing Modi of having insulted the memory of her martyred father. We'll be looking at all the political ramifications of that, and like always, we also try and bring you fresh new voices that you never hear from Delhi. So with me here at this very beautiful old mandir and ashram, we have two local voices from Uttar Pradesh. They've driven the 2.5 hours from Lucknow to Amethi. Amar Habibullah, he's of course a well-known local businessman, and another well-known local businessman here is Sumer Agarwal. And we'll of course be joined by our national politicians as well in just a moment as we ask today on this broadcast live from Amethi, what does it mean for Narendra Modi to bring his battle against the Gandhis right to their doorstep? How should we read his presence here in Amethi? And what of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's claim that Amethi will never forgive Narendra Modi for what she's calling his low-level politics? The gloves are well and truly off. It's a cliche of the season, but never was a cliche more true. Let's get started with our ground report from the campaign trail. This special report from Narendra Modi's rally and also voices not just of BJP supporters but also of Congress supporters. How did they see the arrival of a prime ministerial candidate in their district, and how do they see the Priyanka versus Modi battle?
हर 5 साल यहाँ पे नए लोग आते हैं। पापा के समय भी आए थे, आपको याद होगा। हर 5 साल 2-3 नए लोग आते हैं, यहाँ चक्कर काटते हैं, ढोल बजता है और फिर आप उनको भगा देते हो, चले जाते हैं।
In Amethi, the Gandhis are omnipresent, from computer training centers to public hospitals, from commemorating Indira Gandhi to Rajiv Gandhi, and even Sanjay Gandhi, whose estranged family is today battling on the other side of the political trenches. History, the Congress has always believed, is sufficient protection from the assault of the future's changing winds, at least here in Amethi.
जब भी मैं यहाँ आता हूँ, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि मैं घर आ गया, अपने परिवार के बीच में आ गया।
But in the home constituency of pilot-turned-politician Rajiv Gandhi, today there was a challenge from the skies. This time, his son Rahul Gandhi will not get a soft landing, warned Narendra Modi as his chopper came down into the heart of the family stronghold.
मैडम सोनिया जी ने कहा, ये मोदी तो अभी चुनाव के नतीजे नहीं आए और अपने आप को प्रधानमंत्री मान बैठा है। मैडम सोनिया जी, और तो क्या कहूं, इतना ही कहता हूं, आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर।
In a hard-hitting speech peppered with barbs at the Gandhi family on their own turf, for the first time the BJP's prime ministerial candidate also directly took on Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who has dominated media headlines over the past fortnight. Though Modi did not take her name, there was a sharp and scathing swipe at Priyanka for saying, "Who is she?" when asked to comment on BJP candidate Smriti Irani.
उनका एक नेता ये कहने की हिम्मत करे, स्मृति ईरानी है कौन? ये सवाल पूछ रहे हो आप? स्मृति ईरानी है कौन? भाइयों बहनों, लोकतंत्र में, सार्वजनिक जीवन में ऐसे सवाल करने का हक राज परिवारों को नहीं है। अहंकार जब सातवें आसमान पर पहुंच जाता है तो भाइयों बहनों सुध बुध खो जाती है और तब सार्वजनिक जीवन का शिष्टाचार भी लुप्त हो जाता है और सवाल पूछ देते हैं, स्मृति ईरानी है कौन? मैं बताता हूं कौन है। मेरी छोटी बहन है।
The hit back from Priyanka was swift and as sharp. In a statement to the media, she said, "They have insulted my martyred father. The people of Amethi will never forgive them for their low-level politics. Every worker at every booth will give them a resounding reply."
गुस्से की राजनीति कौन करता है?
This was Modi's reference to Rajiv Gandhi in his speech that by the end of the day had escalated into a full-blown Priyanka versus Narendra Modi battle.
जब राजीव गांधी राहुल गांधी से भी छोटी उम्र के थे और कांग्रेस पार्टी के महासचिव थे और श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी भारत की प्रधानमंत्री थी। मैं हैदराबाद गए, एक पार्टी के महासचिव को रिसीव करने के लिए आंध्र के मुख्यमंत्री एयरपोर्ट पर आए और पता नहीं राजीव गांधी का गुस्सा ऐसा भड़क गया, आंध्र के चुने हुए मुख्यमंत्री उससे उम्र में डबल थे, अंजैया जी, उनको एयरपोर्ट पर इन्होंने डांटा, अपमानित किया, गुस्सा किया। एयरपोर्ट पे भरी पब्लिक के बीच अंजैया जी आंख में आंसू निकल आए। ये गुस्से की राजनीति कौन करता है बताइए?
Is Narendra Modi coming to the heart of the Gandhi bastion, an example of psychological warfare? Is it a statement of political confidence, or is it simply a statement of political gumption? Is there real electoral strategy behind it beyond the symbolism? Can it mathematically make a difference? Remember, this is a seat that the Congress has held since 1967. The Congress has lost it only twice. Once in 1977 when Sanjay Gandhi lost, and another time, of course, in 1998 when Sanjay Singh, now with the Congress, then with the BJP, contested. The big question is whether Modi's being here can make a dent in Fort Rahul and Citadel Gandhi. As Narendra Modi flew out from Amethi, one supporter remarked, "At least he looks like a Prime Minister."
मुझे इसके चेहरे पे एक ऐसा स्टार दिखता है, मुझे लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री बनकर बहुत कुछ करेगा।
All day long at tea stalls, pawn shops and in the interior villages of Amethi, there was just one subject of animated debate, whether Modi's presence here could make a difference to the eventual outcome. In 2009, Rahul Gandhi had won by over 3,70,000 votes, getting over 70% of the votes polled, against BJP's 6%. Even doubling that number would not be enough. The BJP would have to go up to 16% of the vote share to not lose its deposit. Nevertheless, the mere presence of a prime ministerial candidate in Amethi was enough to get everyone interested and talking. Even Congress supporters like this group of young traders said that the rally had definitely grabbed their curiosity, but not necessarily their vote.
मोदी जी को कौन नहीं देखना चाहेगा, और मोदी जी को देखने के लिए मुझको लगता है कि सैलाब टूटेगा देखने के लिए।
अच्छा, आप कह रहे हैं बहुत लोग जाएंगे देखने?
बहुत सारे लोग जाएंगे और
बहुत लोग जाएंगे?
बड़े शिद्दत के साथ देखने जाएंगे।
अच्छा।
इसलिए कि मोदी जी को आज तक लोगों ने टीवी पे या फिर पेपरों में देखा है। अब आज उनको फेस टू फेस देखने के लिए आदमी परेशान होगा। अच्छा। और भीड़ बहुत ज्यादा से ज्यादा भीड़ होगी।
पर यहाँ के रिजल्ट पर इसका क्या असर पड़ सकता है?
देखिए, अब देश में तो मोदी की लहर चल रही है, लेकिन रिजल्ट क्या देखने तो आदमी एक दूसरे को जाएगा, लेकिन वोट किसको देगा वो उसका दिल जानता है।
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि मोदी को देखना ये नहीं मतलब कि उसको वोट देना है?
जी।
आप क्या बोलेंगे?
यही बात मैं भी कहना चाहता हूँ।
हाँ, कि देखने सब जाएंगे,
देखने सब जाएंगे,
वोट अलग बात है।
वोट अलग बात है।
Right outside the rally grounds, over piping hot aloo tikkis and samosas, this resident told us that he is voting for Modi, even though his entire family supports the Congress.
आपने बीजेपी की टोपी पहनी है, आप हमेशा बीजेपी के साथ थे?
नहीं, मैं कांग्रेस के साथ था, बीजेपी के साथ नहीं था।
हमेशा कांग्रेस के साथ थे?
जी मैम।
और इस बारी
भाजपा के साथ हूँ।
क्यों आपने ऐसा फैसला लिया?
क्योंकि राहुल गांधी का संसदीय क्षेत्र अमेठी है,
हाँ।
यहाँ पे कोई विकास नहीं हुआ।
अच्छा, तो आप गुस्से से बीजेपी के साथ आ गए हैं?
जी मैम।
और आपको लगता है ये जो गांधीयों का गढ़ माना जाता है, यहाँ पे कोई फर्क पड़ सकता है मोदी जी के प्रचार से?
मोदी जी के प्रचार से फर्क पड़ सकता है, लेकिन जहाँ वो 4 लाख वोटों से जीते थे, वहाँ यहाँ पे 10,000 वोटों से जीत सकते हैं।
कौन? राहुल गांधी।
राहुल गांधी।
तो आप कह रहे हैं जीतेंगे राहुल गांधी?
जीतेंगे राहुल गांधी
से जीते थे उतना नहीं,
उतने से नहीं जीतेंगे। उनको अब पता चलेगा कि हम कहाँ जो अमेठी क्षेत्र में 4 लाख से जीत रहे, तो वहाँ पर 10,000 जीत रहे, उनको मचेगा।
उनको आप कह रहे हैं कि उनको समझ में आएगा कि ऐसे लोग भी गुस्से हो सकते हैं, नाराज हो सकते हैं। हाँ?
The poor state of roads, the erratic electricity and the record of Rahul Gandhi in parliament have become sharp weapons in the BJP's armour. Even before Modi could touch down on Rahul's bastion, the party had unleashed a salvo of statistics. Why was Amethi's per capita income 10,000 rupees less than the UP average and 40,000 rupees less than the national average? Why did his pet project, the 100 Days Employment Guarantee Scheme, have a delivery rate of only 3.2% in Amethi, asked the BJP. As the day draws to a close, signalling the end of campaigning deadline in this part of UP, the streets of Amethi erupt into a volatile argument. Is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra right in claiming that Modi has insulted her father? Or is Modi right in aggressively questioning the development record of Amethi under the Gandhi family?
अपमान बिल्कुल हुआ है मैडम। यहाँ पर आकर के अमेठी के, हमने पहले ही आपको बताया कि अमेठी की रग रग में, अमेठी की धरती की रग रग में अगर खून बसा हुआ है तो राजीव गांधी का।
आप क्या कहेंगे? आप क्या कहेंगे कि यहाँ पर लोगों को इस तरह का एक तरह से एक इमोशनल लगाव है?
कोई इमोशनल नहीं है, बिल्कुल कोई
अरे
अपमान
आपने
नहीं
सुना
किया गया। हाँ, ये जो कह रहे हैं एकदम गलत कह रहे हैं।
हाँ।
वास्तव में वो सत्ता के लिए गए हैं, मरे हैं, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है। हाँ, एकदम सत्ता के लिए, बस सीधी सी बात है।
तो आपने मोदी जी की सुनी आज भाषण?
बिल्कुल सुना है।
तो आपको क्या लगा? क्योंकि वो तो प्रियंका गांधी पर भी थोड़ा अपना निशाना प्रियंका गांधी पर भी बनाए हुए हैं। उन्होंने बोला कि यहाँ पर एक लीडर है, उनके पीछे पीछे कैमरा जाता है। उन्होंने बोला, उन्होंने ये कैसे कह दिया कि स्मृति ईरानी कौन है? मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि स्मृति ईरानी कौन है।
बताए तो कि हमारी बहन है, और इस मतलब पूरे अमेठी जनता की बहन है वो।
तो आप लोग क्या कहेंगे कि इसमें
आज की डेट में स्मृति ईरानी अमेठी की जनता की बहन हो गई हैं। अमेठी की जनता को 4 पीढ़ियों से कांग्रेस ने पाला पोसा है। अमेठी में ऊसर नहीं, ये गलत बात है गुरुजी, सुनिए। लूटा नहीं है, बिल्कुल गलत बात है मैडम। अमेठी की जनता, अमेठी को जो भी दिया है वो कांग्रेस की देने मैडम।
No matter which side you're on, one thing is certain. Both the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party have ensured that in 2014, the battle for Amethi is one that has been more fiercely fought than ever before. In Amethi, with Manu Nair, Manoj Thakur, Numan Siddiqui, Prafulla Mishra, Barkha Dutt for NDTV. All right, so you saw how volatile that argument was on the streets of Amethi as Priyanka Gandhi Vadra accuses Narendra Modi of having insulted the memory of her martyred father. मेरे शहीद पिताजी का अपमान हुआ है, अमेठी की जनता कभी नहीं माफ करेगी. On the other hand, Narendra Modi has brought his battle against the Gandhis to virtually, literally, their doorstep. From the 100-year-old Babuganj Sagra Ashram and a beautiful Durga Mandir in Gauriganj, Amethi tonight, we're broadcasting live and introducing our panel today as we ask whether Priyanka's complaint is legitimate and how we should read the significance of Modi being in the Gandhi bastion. Joining us on the program tonight is, of course, External Affairs Minister in the outgoing government, Salman Khurshid. From the BJP, we're joined by the BJP senior leader, Piyush Goyal. From Mumbai tonight, we're joined by Chetan Bhagat, well-known author, of course, whose book most recently has been adapted into the film Two States. From Varanasi tonight, we're joined by Ashutosh, senior leader of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's not forget that in the Priyanka versus Modi battle lines, there's also Kumar Vishwas fighting his fight here in Amethi. And of course, like we said, we have here our local voices from Uttar Pradesh. Amar Habibullah and Sumer Agarwal, both are Lucknow-based businessmen who are joining us here in Amethi tonight. Salman Khurshid, I'd like to start with you, please. it's a bit befuddling as to why the Congress would say, and you have said this today as well, that Mr. Modi's coming to Amethi is an absence of courtesy. Why would Priyanka Gandhi Vadra say that Mr. Modi has insulted the memory of her martyred father? In a democracy, are parties that are opposed to each other not meant to campaign against each other? Why is the Congress cribbing? Is the Congress unnerved by Narendra Modi being right here in the Gandhi Bastion?
No, let me just say very clearly, these are two separate things altogether. Whatever the unwritten rules of the game have been in our country, the courtesies that are extended by people to each other in different political parties, you may justify them, you may disagree with them, but there is a tradition, and traditions are always very important to any society. Now, here comes Mr. Modi who wants to make a tradition, fine, there's no problem. We are not cribbing. We're not cribbing. It was a point that was raised, and I made that point. Now that he's here and he wants to depart from tradition, he's welcome. We will give him back in the same coin. He complains very easily when he's paid back in the same coin. I think that for someone who hopes to become India's Prime Minister, which I am convinced, and so are we all, that he never will, but the fact that he's pitching himself as a prime ministerial candidate, I think it doesn't behove a prime ministerial candidate to talk the language that he speaks, to show disrespect and discourtesy in the manner that he has. And I'm afraid I feel absolutely appalled, and I feel extremely saddened by what he has done.
I'm going to put that to Mr. Piyush Goyal in just a moment, but Salman Khurshid, if I may ask you, you've called Mr. Modi Napunsak in the past, you've compared him to Gabbar Singh today. Now, this is considered part and parcel of the battle between the BJP and the Congress. Mr. Modi has his own swipes. I'm not saying any one party is better than the other when it comes to political rhetoric, but when you can say all this, what is all this fake courtesy that we will not campaign in each other's constituencies? Why? No. Why should there not be a genuine contest between the BJP and the Congress in Amethi?
Let me...
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let me just tell you one thing. This program is not about what I said. I can take you on another time. But I urge you, and I respectfully tell you, do not play a game that is a lowly game of politics in repeating anything that we have said. I will defend every remark that I have made. Gabbar Singh was in a lighter vein about how children were told Gabbar Singh is coming. And this is a poster that they've put up in Banaras saying Modi is coming. Now, if you think that we should remove all humor, I'm quite happy to take you on that. If you think that we should not speak to the media at all, I'm quite happy to do that as well. Please take it from me. You are custodians of freedom of speech. Don't destroy it. This is just my unsolicited advice to you. And let me just say to you again, because I said this to you earlier, and I'm saying this to you now. Yesterday, you carried a story saying that Rahul Gandhi rejects the third front. Salman Khurshid had said he wants to support the third front. Now, I haven't heard a greater absurd representation of my views or the views of the Congress party. There is no third front. There is no question of supporting third front. There is too much speculation and too much scripting of what we should be saying. My request to you is, please, let's go to the facts, and please let's talk about what really matters to the people. And there I think Mr. Modi has given us a wild, fictitious story about Amethi. We think that if we could be 100th of what Amethi is, we would be really riding very high. Each one of us.
Okay, now that's a very strong statement from you, Salman Khurshid. Let me take you to Piyush Goyal straight away. Piyush, if I may bring you in, first respond to the charge that has come from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Are we now seeing a Priyanka versus Modi battle? She says Mr. Modi has actually insulted her martyred father. In Hindi, she said कि अमेठी की धरती पर उन्होंने मेरे शहीद पिताजी का अपमान किया है. अमेठी की जनता उनको कभी माफ नहीं करेगी. एक पोलिंग बूथ से उनको जवाब मिलेगा. ये नीची राजनीति कभी अमेठी के लोग माफ नहीं करेंगे. They will never forgive this low-level politics. Did Mr. Modi seek to personalize this campaign even more than it has become by coming right to Amethi? Respond to what Salman Khurshid is saying, that in a sense there used to be a tradition. Mr. Modi has deliberately discarded innocuous courtesies of Indian political life.
Well, Barkha, at the outset, it's very amusing to see Salman Khurshid criticizing and cursing NDTV on your channel for reporting the facts as they are.
We get cursed by all sides.
Well,
we get cursed by all
but
sides.
Salman Khurshid ji is taking, Salman Bhai taking such a self-righteous approach. I wish he had taken the same self-righteous approach when his party was indulging in all sorts of corruption and mismanagement of the economy. I wish they had asked these questions of their party and their leaders when the whole country was going through joblessness, when we found that the whole country was pained with price rise. I don't know where all these people were when the whole country was agitated because of their bad governance. And now that they are borrowing our lines, after all, our campaign line is Janta Maaf Nahi Karegi. And our campaign line is asking them to answer for their sins of omission and commission. I'm glad that now Mrs. Vadra has decided to even borrow from our campaign lines. But anyway, it is the mindset of the Vadra family. It is the mindset that as if they own Amethi or parts of India. It's the old feudal thinking which maybe Raja Maharajas had at some time. But a person who does not even know who Mrs. Smriti Irani is, a person who derided her political opponent, who is Smriti, only reflects ignorance about the hard realities of Indian politics. Mrs. Irani is a vice president of the BJP. She is the candidate from Amethi. And the way Mrs. Vadra had tried to deride, I think the people of Amethi will not forgive her. Of course, if Salman Bhai finds Amethi to be the paragon of all development, and if that is the kind of development he has done in his own constituency, I think he should be a worried man today. Because a constituency where the per capita income is 1/3 of the national average, a constituency which doesn't have toilets for the girl child, a constituency where Manrega is not implemented, a constituency represented by an MP who never opened his mouth about his constituency in parliament, a constituency which has no electricity, which has no, which state domestic product share is as low as 0.6%. They have not answered any of the charges. Just deriding the charges doesn't make sense. I would expect the Congress to answer each one of the charge which we made as a responsible party. We have presented this to the people of Amethi, and I think jawab janta hi unko degi. We don't have to respond to these sob stories. I wish Mr. Rajiv Gandhi had responded properly to the charges of corruption against him. Now Mrs. Vadra is giving us this crocodile tears and trying to make a martyr out of an unfortunate incident. She herself went and claimed clemency for the people who were behind her father's death. So I think all these sob stories are not going to work. They should start responding politically to a political argument.
I'm going to allow Mr. Khurshid to just respond very briefly to that before I take this to Ashutosh and then to Chetan Bhagat. Salman Khurshid, there is some merit to Piyush Goyal saying that in today's day and age, you can't say that just because somebody came here, they are insulting the memory of Rajiv Gandhi. What after all did Mr. Modi say? Mr. Modi made a political point. He said that Rajiv Gandhi once reduced the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister to tears. He said Sonia Gandhi mistreated Sitaram Kesri. Why do either of these comments amount to insulting the martyred Rajiv Gandhi as per Priyanka Gandhi Vadra? Salman.
Well, before I say anything, let me just tell you that Piyush Goyal said that I am attacking NDTV. That's not true. And Barkha, I think you will be honest enough to say that you got that news item completely and utterly wrong. At least be fair and honest about this. Yes. Now let's move on to what Ms.
you
said
made
about
that point
Amethi.
And we corrected that, but let's move on to the issue of the debate.
No. Yes. You corrected it, but he doesn't seem to know. And I think that he doesn't seem to know many things that are happening in this country. Amethi, I think his figures on Amethi, I will test. I think they are completely wrong. His figures on Amethi are completely wrong. He's going back to an assassination that happened many years ago. He seems to have a history. Data. No. What planning commission and how you twist language and how you twist words. I'm sorry. No. I am sorry. Nothing is censored. I am sorry.
District-wise development indicators. You
I am
disprove
sorry.
any of these.
I can
Okay,
also,
what about
I can
my
also.
question?
Okay, I can also
I ask
tell
a
you.
question?
I
May
can
I
also
ask a
tell you
question?
how undernourished children are in Gujarat. Why don't you talk about undernourished
Please
children
tell
in
us.
Gujarat? Why don't you
Please
talk
tell us.
about
I will
snooping?
give you
Of
the
course, I
facts.
will tell you. I'm sorry.
Please
This
tell
program,
us. I'm
no,
happy
you will
to
not be
get
able to
into
tell
a
me
debate
anything.
about
No.
Gujarat.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
my
am
pet
sorry.
subject,
The
Salman
worst kind
Bhai.
of
One at a
the
time.
worst kind of propaganda. I am afraid this is not a conversation. Worst kind of propaganda that you're throwing is unacceptable. This is not an intelligent conversation between rational people.
So it's
Okay.
unacceptable.
Can
So
I
kindly
request
give
you
us
both?
what
We
is
will
the
come
truth.
back.
Please give us the
1
truth.
minute.
We
Mr.
have
Goyal and
placed
Mr.
certain
Khurshid.
facts
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
I think you
table.
both
I'm
made
not
very
here on the
impassioned
shade of the
political
nation.
arguments.
If this is not the truth.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
No,
1 minute.
no. Please be reasonable.
Salman
Please
Bhai
be
and
sensible and
Piyush
reasonable.
Goyal. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think you both made your points. We will return to the statistics that the BJP is offering on Amethi and that the Congress is rebutting with statistics on Gujarat. Requesting both of you to just hold your anger and your passion for a
But
moment.
give us the
Let's bring in Ashutosh
statistics
and
of
Chetan Bhagat
Amethi
as well.
first. We'll discuss Gujarat separately.
We are going to discuss.
No.
We are
Why?
going to discuss
I want to
both.
discuss
You
Gujarat.
quoted
I
a
don't want
number
to
of them.
discuss Amethi.
I'm happy to discuss both.
Well,
Let's
we
sort
have to
out
discuss
Amethi
both.
first.
I know you are
Okay.
happy to discuss. I know you are happy
Okay.
to discuss. We'll find the time to
Okay,
discuss.
okay,
it.
You
come
know,
on.
statistics is my favorite subject,
Come on.
Salman Bhai.
I know.
Okay.
And you
Mr.
know
Goyal,
that
Mr. Khurshid,
lying
I'm
with
bringing in
statistics
Ashutosh
is the
now.
easiest thing to do.
Okay, 1 minute. May I seek time out from both of you? Ashutosh, has the Aam Aadmi Party, in a sense, been completely marginalized? Is the clash now not just Smriti Irani versus Rahul Gandhi, but Priyanka Gandhi Vadra versus Narendra Modi? इसमें आम आदमी पार्टी कहाँ रह गया? आशुतोष.
Barka, I'm really amazed to hear a word like marginalized. I think we need to understand the dynamics of the Amethi and what is happening over there. It's a big farce happening in Amethi right now. There is an unwritten understanding between the BJP and the Congress that let's not put the strong candidates against each other. Like Rahul Gandhi, when the Smriti Irani. Smriti Irani is the lightest weight available in the BJP right now. And now Narendra Modi has realized that Kumar Vishwas is going to win the battle. So he has come there to oblige Rahul Gandhi by trying to little bit cut the vote of anti-Rahul Gandhi votes.
That's a big
And you see the
conspiracy
same thing
theory.
happening in Varanasi.
Ashutosh, that's a very
No,
big
it's not a
conspiracy theory. That's the...
No, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's
That
not a
puts a whole
conspiracy
new
theory. I'm
spin on this
telling you.
debate.
I'm telling. No. Barka, listen to me. You know what?
Okay.
You have used the word marginalized. You have already assumed that Aam Aadmi Party is nowhere in the picture. And
No,
the fight is between
I have
Smriti
asked a
Irani and Rahul
question.
Gandhi,
No. I have asked a question. No, Ashutosh. I have asked a question.
Barka.
I have
an
said,
objection.
do you feel
I have an
marginalized?
objection.
Do you feel marginalized?
I have no.
Do you feel
I have an
marginalized?
objection. The phraseology. No, Barka. I have an objection. The phraseology you are using. Marginalized. What do you mean by marginalized? Kumar Vishwas has been fighting its battle for the last 4 months. He has visited almost each and every 1,200 villages available in the Amethi. When did Smriti Irani come? Smriti Irani doesn't know the name of a single village. And Smriti Irani had just been pitted just two weeks back. And now Narendra Modi has come to rescue Rahul Gandhi. The same. My question is to both Piyush Goyal and Salman Khurshid both. If they are if they think that Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi, then why they are not putting the best candidates available like Arun Jaitley or Sushma Swaraj in Amethi or somebody Rahul Gandhi should be putting somebody senior enough in Varanasi.
That's an interesting question.
Because
Achha, 1 minute, Ashutosh.
Because
Ashutosh is an
there's
interesting
an
question.
unwritten
Let me put it to them. Okay. 1 minute. And I will accept the point that the Aam Aadmi Party was the first to send in a real candidate here, that Kumar Vishwas was the first to come in, that in many ways the Aam Aadmi Party forced the BJP to take this contest seriously. I think that you're right about, Ashutosh. But what you have said, I'm going to put to them in just a moment. Let me just bring in Chetan Bhagat. Chetan, you're watching all this. One party is saying, यहाँ पे BJP और Congress साथ है. BJP कहती है Aam Aadmi Party और Congress साथ है. In the meantime, the gloves are completely off between Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Narendra Modi. What's going on as you observe it?
Well, I mean, firstly, I find these, and I'm not taking sides. I'm going to I think but the Gandhi kids have some real sense of entitlement, huh? I mean, they really, even if somebody enters, I mean, frankly, it could be anybody, but Narendra Modi is just doing his job. He's helping his candidate who's fighting a very tough constituency. And I think they're not realizing it's not about Amethi. What Modi did today is going to have a positive effect on the remaining seats, because it's going to be, he's become the national news, and it is going to show people that he is not afraid to go where people have not dared to go before. So I don't think he's gone there and thinking that if Amethi they'll win Amethi or not. He's gone there for a symbolism of it. But at the same time, why is Priyanka suddenly, the country is falling into the same trap. Rahul is the candidate. Now, if tomorrow if there is a scam, let's say Rahul comes or the Congress comes back to power, if there is a scam, can you go to Priyanka Gandhi and say that there is a scam? She'll be like, I don't know, I'm nobody, I'm just his sister. So it's like saying a cricketer who says, I don't play cricket, but my sister is a very good cheerleader, please make me the team captain. I mean, I hope India has become mature about this, and we really focus on the right issues. It's not, I think if Amethi is so in love with the Gandhis, Rahul will win again. But that doesn't, I mean, I don't think there's any insult. I mean, somebody is doing his job, he's campaigning for his party, he's showing a certain support for his candidate, which is fighting a very, very tough seat.
Okay, let me take this back in a moment to Mr. Khurshid and Mr. Piyush Goyal, but to get a view from the ground. Amar Habibullah, what does this look like to you? Amethi has suddenly become the symbol of the national fight.
Well, it does to me look quite funny, to tell you the truth, because Amethi, and everybody's talking about the economy and everything else, Amethi compared to the rest of UP is not really in that bad shape, because in Amethi itself, you have good hospitals, you have good schools, you have
but
businesses.
The statistics put forth by the BJP today actually belie that. They actually say that whether it's per capita income or Nirega compliance, they say that Amethi is actually lower than the UP average.
But in the per capita income, you'll also take places like Noida and Lucknow, which are doing very, very well. And Noida is just outside Delhi, as you know, and the most expensive probably real estate in the country. So you can't really judge or based on that.
How do you see Mr. Modi bringing the battle to the Gandhi doorstep?
Well, I see it as him trying to help his party candidate out, who definitely does not have very much linkage to Amethi, and I don't really know how the people react to her here. So by him coming here, he's probably just trying to help her out.
Sumir, how do you see this? Do you see this, as Chetan Bhagat says, as actually a national messaging from here?
No, I think Priyanka is just here for the TRPs. She's not, because Rahul is the real candidate. And if you see, Modi's come here during the last phase of the election here, because the election
last phase bhi nahi, ek ghanta pehle, campaigning band hone se ek ghanta pehle.
But everybody is doing a blame game. But we need to look at the larger picture, the national picture. Who is the decisive and a strong leader? And because we are not only concerned with Amethi, because Rahul Gandhi is the son of the chairperson of UPA, so he gets more money for development work over here compared to 5 crores for an average MP.
One question to all the politicians that are there. I've heard a lot about the economy doing so badly over so many years, and we're in such doldrums, but we've just become the third largest economy in the world. I mean, doesn't that say something to everybody? Doesn't that make a difference? I mean, 20 years ago, that probably would be unimaginable.
Okay, let me take this back now right away to Mr. Khurshid and Mr. Piyush Goyal. Salman Khurshid, let's look at the statistics first. Today, the BJP has unveiled a bunch of statistics. The central argument is the following, that many of the socio-economic indices of Amethi are actually lower than the state average and certainly much lower than the national average. So how is it a VIP constituency? The second set of questions that have been raised is to look at Rahul Gandhi's attendance in parliament, which is about 43% compared with the average attendance of MPs, which is above 70%. The fact that he's never raised Amethi in parliament. Do you believe that at some point the Congress needs to rebut this fact for fact, statistic for statistic, instead of Priyanka getting emotional and saying they've insulted my father?
Well, I don't know. I'm sorry that you're telescoping two separate things. Statistics will be and have been replied with statistics. And this is not a class of statistics that I will be able to put you a chart, but we will give you enough, and there is enough which is not being answered. But be that as it may, what Priyanka ji has said, frankly, is about specific statements made about her father. That's all. And I think we all know that in India, people who've passed away, even if you don't like them, you don't say these things about departed souls. But obviously, the BJP is departing from so many Indian traditions that they don't mind departing from this tradition as well. But there's a desperation in the BJP. You've seen it in the last 24 hours. There's a desperation. They'll pull out any rabbit out of any hat in order to get some votes. But I don't think they're going to get those votes. And may I just finally say that I respect what Chetan Bhagat has said. I think it's a very rational approach. I don't think that he takes side. But what he is saying, I think, is rational, and this is the manner in which we should be discussing the future of this country and indeed how this election is going, and not the way in which Mr. Piyush Goyal is throwing all kinds of fiction. And I believe that I have to try and judge whether he's a better fiction writer or Chetan Bhagat is a better fiction writer.
Should I get Chetan to react to that before Piyush does? Chetan? Chetan?
Well, I'm not a very good writer. I don't think Piyush is saying
you have competition according to Mr. Khurshid. You have competition.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
I
more
really
seriously,
respect Mr.
Piyush
Khurshid, but Piyush is my Mumbai buddy. So Piyush is my Mumbai buddy, and Salman ji is also. I think both. This is a more sane debate than what debates get. So I think let's just stick to the issues, and that's more important. And I mean, that's really it. I mean, really. It's all going to be decided. We have 10 more days. Yes. We will know whether we will know in 10 days if there's going to be a Gujarati Jhula in 7 Racecourse Road or not.
All right, go ahead, Piyush Goyal, and then I'll bring in Ashutosh.
After the success of 2 states, one north and south, I think it's time that the central part of India also comes in the forefront. So I very clearly see a Gujarati Jhula coming in. But Barka, 2 or 3 things. First of all, I think Salman Bhai didn't understand.
No, but respond to what Mr. Khurshid has said. Yeah, what Salman Bhai has said.
Because Chetan Bhagat actually demolished all the arguments that Salman was saying. But apart from that, just to set the perspective
Why don't we ask Chetan Bhagat?
Mr. Salman Khurshid has not responded to a single charge of ours. And neither has anybody from the Congress, including Mrs. Vadra. B, what the other gentleman spoke about Lucknow and Faridabad or wherever, Noida, I think we have taken care of that. The second statistic we have given is the share of Amethi's district domestic product as a share of UP's total state domestic product. Amethi is only 0.7%. Even Moradabad is 2.5%, Bareilly 2.6%. Muzaffarnagar 2.6. So that argument also falls. Third, the argument that India has become the third largest can only be a very ignorant argument. Because if India has a large population like we do, obviously we'll be a large economy in terms of size. But our per capita income is still $1,300 compared to 40 or 30,000.
Okay, but I have a question. I have a question, Mr. Goyal. Mr. Goyal, you made the case.
I have no answer to the fact that Amethi is in dire straits. It's the most backward district in the country. It is included in the 272 districts that the Congress has announced as most backward districts. Now we are on a mission 272
may I get a question in?
To win 272 seats.
May I get a question
and then make these 272 backward districts into forward districts.
Piyush Goyal, I'm trying to ask a question now. You've given us a long list of very strong Amethi statistics. One minute, Ashutosh, 1 minute. But the fact... 1 minute, Ashutosh, 1 second. But Mr. Goyal, Mr. Chidambaram is also throwing some statistics, for example, back in the BJP's face. Mr. Chidambaram is saying, you don't do so well on the Human Development Index in Gujarat. You are 22nd on the state of roads. You are 15th on the state of rural poverty on the Human Development Index. So there are statistics that can be thrown back at Gujarat as well, Mr. Goyal. So won't we go round and round in these statistics?
I'm happy to debate. Get Mr. Chidambaram. I'm happy, for example, Chidambaram only believes in shoot and scoot. Even in Parliament, he makes a statement but refuses to allow us to counter it. On malnutrition, you keep talking about what these gentlemen say. The fact is that the CAG's own report says the ICDS report of the CAG published in 2013. It says Gujarat recorded the highest reduction in child malnutrition from 2006-7 to 9-11. It says the top 3 performing states were BJP ruled states during this performance. whether you want to
I
see
think Ashutosh is wanting to come in.
malnutrition,
Ashutosh,
whether
go
you want
ahead.
to see schools,
Piyush,
whether you want to see school dropout, every parameter the BJP
genius
rules
and Amartyan to find out that
far
Amethi
better than what
is
the
one of the
Congress
poorest city in poorest district in the entire India. But the fact is that the statistics which Piyush Goyal is throwing, I think he should answer my question. And my first question is it not true that the Gujarat has 1.75 lakh crore as a debtor state, one of the third most debtor state? So let me answer. I was no, Piyush Goyal, please have some patience. Please have some patience.
Piyush, let him complete his point and you can answer.
I did not interfere.
You were an
That's
anchor,
the problem.
you never
That's the
had
problem with
patience.
the
Now you've changed your role from
the
an
BJP
anchor.
guys are so
You
intolerant.
have lost your patience.
The problem with the BJP guys are they are so intolerant. They don't want to listen to others' argument. I think Piyush Goyal, you should learn some courtesy.
You never allowed anybody to talk while you were an anchor.
No, I'm a. So you are interfering
come on,
whenever
let's
I'm
hear the
talking. I did not interfere when you are talking, Mr. Piyush Goyal. You should realize that.
We're on limited
I'm asking.
Remembering your days as
is
an
it not a
anchor
fact?
in one of those channels.
See, again you see.
Okay,
again
come on.
Piyush Goyal is interrupting. Piyush Goyal is interrupting.
Ashutosh, make your point. I'll get Mr. Goyal to respond. Okay, let's be polite. Let's not use words like shut up. Ashutosh, please.
I'm asking Piyush Goyal.
Please, let's be polite here.
Is it not a fact? Is it not a fact that Gujarat के ऊपर 1,75,000 crore का कर्ज है? Is it not a fact that Gujarat lies at 13th on the hunger index? Again he's interrupting. Again he's interrupting because he's trying to please his master, which is called Narendra Modi, which would not like to listen to these facts. I'm again asking: is it not a fact that Bal Mrityu Dar mein Gujarat is 17th? Are these facts or not? Is it not a fact that Narendra Modi has promised to make 150 lakhs houses? No, make 50 lakhs houses. Not a single house has been constructed.
Okay, let
if
Mr.
you go by
Goyal
that
respond
logic,
now.
that 50 lakhs
Let
houses
Mr.
has to
Goyal
be
respond
constructed.
now. We're out of time. Ashutosh, now let Mr. Goyal respond. Piyush Goyal, please go ahead.
I think Piyush Goyal should learn how to speak on television.
Okay, let him respond now. You raised some questions, he must respond.
Now that the country has by and large made it clear that the Aam Aadmi Party will not exist after the election, I don't see them even
No,
opening
Piyush,
their
but please
account.
don't tell me this.
Let me educate
I was not
Mr.
interrupting when
let
you were
me
talking.
educate
When I was
Ashutosh.
talking. Please have some courtesy.
Ashutosh,
Let
now
me
let him
educate
speak.
Mr.
You made
Ashutosh
your
how
point, now
debt
let
has
him
to be
respond.
calculated. He may have been an anchor in some news channel, but he doesn't know economics.
Answer my question, Mr.
The
Piyush
state's
Goyal.
debt.
Answer my question.
The state's debt is always calculated based on the state gross domestic product. So if it has 1,75,000 crores
Please
debt,
tell me, is it
has
not a
a
fact
huge
that
state
1.75 lakh crore is a
Okay,
debt
let
on
him
Gujarat?
speak
Please
now.
answer that. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Okay.
Well, I think you don't
Ashutosh,
understand
let Mr. Goyal
English.
speak now.
So let me explain to you that a statistic is only as good as the context in which you use a statistic. The debt is always seen in relation to the
I knew you are going
state.
to answer this. You will not answer my question.
Okay, one at a time, please.
Well, if you
one
do,
at a time.
Barka, I
Piyush
think he
Goyal.
should go back to his channel. He doesn't know how to participate in a debate in any case. The Barka,
please answer my
state domestic
question.
product,
Please answer my
the
question.
state domestic
I'm at
product
your
and the
limited
debt
time. One
are
minute.
both related.
Hunger index.
And Gujarat is the best
request you all
performing
to speak
state
one at a time,
when
please.
it comes to the debt juxtaposed to the state domestic product. Gujarat's state domestic product being very large, the state's debt as a percentage of state domestic product
Please
is only
answer
third
yes or
in the
no.
country. So I think Mr. Ashutosh only is talking in the air. He needs some lessons in economics.
Okay, Chetan
Please answer
Bhagat,
yes or no.
last
I'm
comments.
asking
I'm
you yes or
starting
no.
last comments. I'm out of time. We're locked in a battle around statistics. But Chetan, isn't this debate now well beyond statistics? You know, in some ways, what has happened is that there are a lot of symbolic battles going on. Chetan.
Of course. If people feel that whatever little leg of phase of elections is left, if people are going to look at statistics and vote, they're highly mistaken. I mean, it's all about symbolism. It's all about that helicopter landing. See, at the end of the day, Amethi people identify with the Gandhis. So at the end of the day, even if you give them a little bit higher per capita income, they may still feel I'd rather have my association Amethi special. Why? Because of the Gandhis. So there is an emotional connect, and a per capita GDP can only fight it so much. So that's a separate discussion. But At the same time, Mr. Modi has come in a helicopter. He took a big risk. He could have had a flop rally, but he didn't have a flop rally in Amethi. He stuck his neck out in the last stage of election. So people are going to admire that, especially a lot of youngsters who follow him are going to say, listen, he goes, he does, he's different from Manmohan Singh. That's what they are benchmarking him against right now. He's different. He goes, he gets out there, he gets his hand dirty.
And Chetan, how do you see the Priyanka versus Modi battle? Chetan, how do you see Priyanka versus Modi shaping up?
I think it is a very, from a interest point of view, from a human interest point of view, it's very interesting combo because it's like a odd pairing of opponents. But at the same time, people in India have to realize Priyanka is not in the fray. I mean, I cannot bring a relative to work. Barkha, you cannot bring your sibling to work and bat for you. People have to, it is not, Priyanka may comment. I mean, if Narendra Modi's wife comes tomorrow and starts talking about Rahul, how weird would that be? So people in India have to, let's get rational. It's Rahul versus Modi. I mean, it's very interesting. Priyanka's comments are very interesting, but frankly, not very relevant.
Quick last words, 30 seconds each to Mr. Goyal and Mr. Khurshid. Piyush Goyal, to you first. Do you believe Mr. Modi personalized this campaign by being... Yes. Piyush, go ahead.
Look, the fact of life is the people of this country are looking for change. Mr. Modi has become the harbinger of that change. He's the hope for good governance. He's the hope to eliminate the high degree of corruption and misgovernance they have seen in many years. He's the last man standing who can bring jobs into the economy, who can turn around the investor sentiment. I think the people of India are smart, just like in the past when they have found their lives to be affected very badly because of poor governance. Once again, like in 77, we are seeing a change, a sea change towards a change from the Congress. You will see Congress move Bharat
30 seconds
9 days from today.
Okay, Salman Khurshid, do you believe the Congress came across as feudal today by complaining too much about Mr. Modi being here and what he said?
I don't think so. I think let's wait for 10 days and find out. Mr. Piyush Goyal thinks he wants a repeat of 1977. I think what an awful experiment that was. And if he wants to repeat similar experiment in this country, well, he's welcome to do so. But my last word, compliments to him for playing the parrot. I couldn't have found a better parrot than him, that they repeat the same thing over and over again, hoping that somebody somewhere will get convinced. Well, let's wait for 10 days and find out.
Okay. Before another debate erupts, we'll have to say thank you to Chetan Bhagat.
The awful experiment is about the emergency I hope he's talking about. When they curtail...
I would like to tell you, I think, Barkha, you got the two gentlemen of Indian politics on... I'm just saying you got the two gentlemen of Indian politics on your debate, so kudos for that. These two guys, we need both these guys in Indian politics.
All right, that's a good note to say thank you to all of you. Chetan, Ashutosh, Salman Khurshid, Piyush Goyal, thanks so much for joining us. And our last words to our guests here tonight. You've been listening. Is the view from Lucknow, the view from Amethi very different from the view from Delhi? Sumer?
No, I mean, you'll always find a difference between the statements of the Congress spokesperson and the BJP spokesperson. But I feel that Modi is a symbol of hope, and he's going to make a difference.
So for you, it's not about जब आप statistic एक debate सुनते हैं कि गुजरात में ये है, अमेठी में है, वो आप कहते हैं लोग उससे कहीं आगे निकल चुके हैं.
And we need a strong and decisive leader who can make a change in the lives of the people.
I think it is about the statistics also, because we've been fed a lot of wrong statistics. In fact, one would think that Gujarat is the most developed state in the country right now, and not even on one single economic parameter is it leading the country, which is quite, you know.
So why are people not paying attention, in a sense, to the statistics? If you
believe, they should. I would think that they would while they're voting. They would.
So I want to ask both of you, what does Modi represent to both of you? Sumer?
He's a symbol of change. He's a strong. He takes decisions.
Ahmad?
He's trying to do his bit, and the more people that we have trying to do their bit in the political structure, the better it is.
So what do the Gandhis represent to both of you? The same thing.
Gandhi is he hasn't got any experience.
You're talking about Rahul
administration.
Gandhi.
I'm talking about Rahul Gandhi.
And Priyanka Gandhi Vadra?
Priyanka, I mean, she's just she doesn't have any experience of politics. And she's just there for the TRPs.
I think Rahul's been there for now 10 years. He's been behind the scenes, but they've done some very good stuff in the last 10 years.
And Priyanka, do you believe she's overshadowed her brother? Even the statement against Modi today came from her, not from him.
Not really. I haven't really seen her involved with politics that much, except for right now, in the last few days.
The way Rahul tore away that paper shows his immaturity.
I thought it was very good, actually. As a young person, I was.
So the debate continues. We leave it there. Raman Habibullah and Sumer Agarwal, thanks so much for joining us. And that brings us to a close of a very volatile debate. This volatility reflects the arguments we've been hearing on the streets of Amethi. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra accusing Narendra Modi of insulting the memory of a Shaheed father. Narendra Modi saying, मैं 60 महीनों में वो करके दिखाऊंगा जो यहाँ गांधी परिवार 40 सालों तक नहीं कर पाया. Is this a debate well beyond statistics now? As our panel said today, we'll know the answer in 10 days. We've been on the road. We'll see you tomorrow night from a new part of India. Thanks for watching. From the entire team, from Gauriganj tonight, from this beautiful 100-year-old ashram. Good night. Thanks for watching.